Salutations, this is Robert from robertoreed.com, where I bring you character cryptos and cash flows. And in this video, I want to address an article about the Washington Post. You know, when someone doesn't really know a thing, you can tell. You can tell. Let's check out the article. Welcome back, guys. Thanks for joining me. You already know this is Robert from robertoreed.com, where I bring you cryptos, characters, and cash flows. And I want to jump right into this article because we have mainstream media like the Washington Post write up something that, or write about something that they really don't understand. And their piece is it's entitled "Bitcoin is Still a Disaster." Now, I wanted to get this over here from Medium because I saw the article and I like the response. So I want to go ahead and share this with you guys. Let's jump right in. This may be two parts to this, which is fine, but let's jump in because it's a rather lengthy article. It begins by saying, I'm fed up with journalists who are either ignorant or unwilling to learn about cryptocurrency, holding forth on its perceived weaknesses. Recently, the Washington Post published a piece entitled "Bitcoin is Still a Disaster" by economic affairs reporter Matt O'Brien. Let's see what Matt had to say, which I feel relies on mistaken assumptions to paint a misleading picture of the world. Today, I'd like to engage with some of the claims made in the piece and show how O'Brien, among many others, get it wrong. First claim, currencies are meant to be stable, okay? There's a quote. There's one thing a currency is supposed to do that Bitcoin never has, and that's maintain a stable value. Man, I beg to differ right away, but let's see what our article writer has to say. This assumes that Bitcoin is a currency. That's step number one. And that the definition of currency is normative, meaning X should do Y, as opposed to descriptive. Things of type X have the qualities Y and Z. Now, I classify Bitcoin, the protocol, as a complete monetary system, and Bitcoin, the unit of value, as a commodity money, which has the potential to become a gold-like reserve currency. See, commodities fluctuate. That's what they do. Additionally, currency isn't meant to maintain a stable value. Monetary policy is used for a variety of macroeconomic objectives, including targeting GDP growth, unemployment rates, inflation, trade balances, and more. Now, if stability was the objective, then the Federal Reserve Board would target 0% inflation rather than the 2% that it currently does. Am I moving the goalposts? Nah. See, it's a matter of figuring out how Bitcoin is used and what it was intended for. I'm not sure Bitcoin creators, Satoshi Nakamoto, ever defined Bitcoin as a currency. He defined it as a system for electronic transactions, a peer-to-peer version of electronic cash, and an electronic payment system. He envisions Bitcoin as a protocol and a bearer digital unit of value. The interpretation of Bitcoin as a currency is mostly interfered by outsiders imposing a particular view upon the protocol. Unburdened by priors, a neutral analyst would probably describe it as similar or something similar to gold. In fact, Satoshi described proof of work, or POW, with a reference to gold mining, and later discussed Bitcoin as analogous to a scarce, inert, infinitely portable metal, okay, which might develop a monetary premium. I'll say that again. Satoshi described POW with a reference to gold mining and later discussed Bitcoin as analogous to a scarce, inert, infinitely portable metal, which might develop a monetary premium. Continuing. He clearly saw it as a gold-like commodity which would recapture those same properties in the digital realm. And I think this the most fitting interpretation of the system. I agree. The next claim, let's tackle that one. Claim Bitcoin was designed with volatility in mind. I don't even like that. I hate that claim right there. Nobody wants their product to be in just I'm almost speechless. I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense. So anyway, a piece of the article says, why has Bitcoin's price been so up and down? Well, part of it is that it was designed that way. No, it wasn't. This is an odd rewrite of history, or more charitably, a strange interpretation of Bitcoin's purpose. The impossible trinity tells that it's impossible to have free capital flow, sovereign monetary policy, and a fixed exchange rate all at the same time. Bitcoin was designed with sovereign monetary policy and a free flow of capital. No one underwrites or backs Bitcoin, so it cannot be pegged to a real world basket of goods. That's the same with gold. Hear, hear. Applaud you on that one. Both have emergent monetary premia. This can't be planned for. It just so happens that way. Needless to say, Satoshi didn't design Bitcoin to be unstable. He wanted to solve the problem of double spends with digital cash such that it didn't rely on a single validator. Its volatility is an emergent property, not a design objective. Here, talk to that dude. The next claim, and we'll finish it here, and we'll go to our next part, is validating transactions is the source of its computational overhead. Did you hear that? Validating transactions is the source of its computational overhead. Quote, the problem with a decentralized network was that the only way to do that would be for every member of that network to keep a record of every Bitcoin transaction there ever had been. That way, they knew who had Bitcoin to spend, which would require a lot of computing power. See, that's when you don't know how the entire network works. But let me continue with the article. This is a common misconception. POW, or proof of work, in mining ensures that the network deterministically converges to a shared history without any subjectivity or off-chain coordinations. The fact that the minted units have value means that miners are incentivized to behave properly in the short and medium term. And the fact that those units are worth X means the miners will pay anything up to X to obtain them. This is the source of the large quantities of computing power allocated to the network. The combination of efficient mining hardware and large amounts of value at stake. That's what it simply means, guys. Now, the validation and record keeping is behavior conducted by full nodes, not miners. Again, I'll say that again. The validation and record keeping is behavior conducted by full nodes, not miners. The cost of maintaining the Bitcoin data store is an externally pushed onto full nodes through bandwidth and storage costs. This is not the job of miners. This is a basic distinction lost on many. And I'm going to stop the article right there, guys. You have to have at least a decent understanding of how Bitcoin works, a decent understanding of how the whole entire process works. And if you don't, educate yourself, and then you can speak on the process, because then you'll be exposed as not knowing very much. Best to just humble yourself. But again, in the mainstream media, if you don't check behind their work, or if you don't quite understand what they're talking about, you have no idea whether they are accurate or not. So I'm going to end this part, and we'll get to the rest of it a little bit later. In fact, it'll be on the next video. I hope you enjoyed the article. Join me on the next video. Until next time, conquer with crypto.